Peace and blessings, everyone. It's your girl Mocaso, and we are here in Women in the Meta Treehouse, where we are having our wonderful conversation that we have every single Monday, where women come into the metaverse and have a conversation. And we see Miss Shiva Leela has popped in. Welcome, welcome. Love the fit. And as you guys can see, we are here in our treehouse. So, Miss Shiva, you know we are live. If you want to get your spot up on the top floor, feel free. And I know this is also your first time being in here, so make yourself at home. For all of our viewers, you know this is your home as well. So, as you all know, if you're watching this podcast replay on Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, or iHeartRadio, I did build this first floor just for you all to be able to come in here and listen to the replays. So all you have to do is click the link that's there in the bio, come to this spot. You'll be able to click here to find the link for the actual podcast, and then pick a spot and enjoy the podcast here in the WIM Treehouse as well. We got wine, headphones, and hopefully you meet some of our other podcast listeners that want to listen with you, and then maybe you guys keep the conversation going. And so, as you guys know, this month our theme is gratitude in the P2D Raw network, and we are talking exactly about what we're grateful for. Right, last week we talked about just in general what we were grateful for. I know me personally, I had talked a lot about my mindset, and today we will be talking about what new tools we are grateful for. Next week we'll be talking about what concepts we're grateful for, and at the end of the month we'll be talking about what trailblazers we're grateful for, and hopefully can bring a few of them into the space. So I know Miss Shiva's already upstairs, so let's try to get on up there and get this convo started. How you doing today, Miss Shiva?
Peace and blessings. Can you hear me? I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for asking. Oh, you want to sit in a hot tub? Or you sit? Oh, I don't think I added seats to that one just yet. So we might have to just do the hot tub if you want to sit outside. Okay. Yeah, outside with it. And yes, y'all, we sitting in a hot tub. You know, I had to get a little spicy with it. So that's where we're gonna have the conversation. And so I'm excited. Today we are talking about what tools we are grateful for. And to get it started, I mean, like the metaverse, obviously, right? Because here Shiva and I are meeting in this treehouse, and this treehouse is in Tulum, and we're sitting in a hot tub. And I don't know about you, but after a Monday, sitting in a hot tub in Tulum in a treehouse just seems like, you know, that cup of tea that I need to in my day. So being able to use tools like the metaverse to create that experience, right? Because yes, maybe I'm not really there, but mentally, you know, I'm there. And sometimes that's all we need, right? And it's like when they say when you're not feeling good on the inside, you know, if you start looking good on the outside, you start kind of feeling better on the inside when, you know, to try to bring yourself up. And so again, that's why I really like this space and love, you know, the ambiance that it gives in this Tulum, because I love Tulum, and anytime you see Tulum, it's like, you know, houses in the trees and like nature infused with humans. And I think that's the interesting thing about even the metaverse, where it's like I just said, you know, Tulum is how humans infused humans into nature, and on the metaverse it's now how we can infuse technology, right? Because like I said, now we have the tech or the nature here, now we have the humans here, and now we also have the technology to not only meet in here where we can be in all different states or all different continents, but also have the technology to spread this message to others all over the world as well, where, you know, maybe you can't join because you can only listen, you know, for maybe you're in a car or whatever reason it may be. And you know, having that ability to even spread these messages across social media. And again, I think when you understand the evolution of the internet is also one of those tools that I would say I'm grateful for, because that has been a big evolution, especially of my time. You know, I remember being young and my room was actually in the basement, so everybody would come and have to run and unplug it, and it would be loud. And I remember when it started there, and I'm sure there's people that remember even before that. But for me, with the internet, that's where the journey starts, and then it evolves into even like social media. I mean, I had the games, and back in my day, computers, it was like, we would go get movies from Blockbusters. We would watch it on the computer. We had one family computer. And it wasn't until I actually got into high school when social media really came back out, or came out. And, I was actually allowed to go onto social media because in middle school, my mom was very protective of the internet. Like I said, we had one family computer. So I didn't explore it too much until I actually got on social media. And again, when we talk about, that being one of those tools that allow us to connect us, it's important because like even how Shiva and I connected, it's all through social media. How everybody that I'm interacting with and connecting with is all through the internet. And it's that globalization. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about this reset and this revolution is this globalization and us being able to connect with people on every single continent. Like no matter where you're at, the most challenging thing you're going to have to do is figure out what time works best for everyone. So those have been some of the tools that I've definitely been grateful for, especially because as you guys can see, that's what has brought me here thus far. How about yourself, Miss Shiva? What kind of tools are you grateful for?
Peace and blessings, everyone. I appreciate you for welcoming me into this space. This is a beautiful treehouse. Um, Super immersive. I'm in the jacuzzi, so let me take a quick second to think. I think the most grateful tool that I'm appreciative for, I guess, while being here in this Web3 space and learning this and actually, using the blockchain system to monetize from my own content, I would say it's the blockchain system. Me just really, I would like to mention that I did take a Udemy course when I first learned about the NFTs and everything because I'm the type of person I don't just, you know, take people's word for it. I have to learn. So that's how I also learned about Udemy. So someone was like, "Hey, you want to learn about NFTs? Take this Udemy course." And I'm like, "Okay." So I took the Udemy course, and it was more so like just educational. But when I learned that I could put my online brands into the metaverse, I kind of like took off from there. And so now I'm offering my own courses pretty soon. And I have an economics course, a social economics course that I'll be providing. But this is just because it's like, hey, these tools and resources that have been given to me and that I have learned, I am now applying, and now I want to share it. So even this metaverse space, it may seem cliche, but I feel like it's overlooked. And like me and you were sitting here, this tree house will always be a memory that we held this space on 11/14, 2022. And in 5 years, we'll be doing so much more. So I'm that type of person. Like I am sentimental and I hold environments, close to me because it means a lot. And we kind of are doing that already with holding this accountability and this is what we're doing. We're immersing ourselves, and I'm thankful for the metaverse. I'm just gonna say that now.
No, I definitely feel you on that one. Especially like you said, I cherish those moments too. It was really cool. We've been getting a lot better at like actually taking pictures, and I love that because like if we were really in Tulum in a treehouse, I would definitely be like, Shiva, let's take a picture real quick. Like we looking cute in the jacuzzi. So being able to have those pictures, and we've even been thinking of some cool ways that we can even use those and cherish those. Right? Yeah, no, we had that premiere for D'Anthony for the last Metacast that I did, and at the end, we were taking the pictures, the group photos, even a cool video. And we're like, you know what? Let's mint it. Let's give it to everybody that was here today so that we can really, mark that moment on the blockchain. Like, oh, you're an evolutionary. Like, this is really marking your story on the blockchain and that moment that we got to cherish. So I definitely agree with you when it comes to the blockchain. Oh Lord, y'all. I definitely agree with you when it comes to the blockchain and how just again it's really amazing with how you can just mark things in history. I always look at it like we're the ones that are able to actually write history this time, right? Like I wasn't around when they wrote the last history books, but I'm here for this one. I'm trying to, make my mark in history. That's why when we come into the space, it's funny when you get to kind of like personify yourself, right? Where it's like you can dox yourself or not. And, I have this pet peeve where I really don't like people calling me by my name because you don't know me. I don't like people talking about me like they know me if they don't know me. So I'm like, I go by Mo though, and I'm like, okay, in NFTs, what do I really want to exude? And it was that Mocasso, because it's like if you know art, you're going to compare it to like a Picasso, and not because of he was just a great artist, but because there's so much work that he put in to get to where he was, and he wasn't even about the fame because he wasn't even famous when he was alive, right? And so that's one of the things I always emphasize is like, I'm not in this for the fame. I'm in it for those things that are going to impact society in that long run, right? And especially when you talk about the education of NFTs, I think that was like one of my niches in the beginning as well, which was like writing articles. That's another one of those things or tools I was grateful for, which was articles and being able to write blogs or like even be able to create our own content, right? Like Shiva said, being able to create your own Udemy course and your own articles, you right? Like, because like you said, you have your own socio-economical course coming out. I have my own, intro to cryptocurrency course, or so many different things where it's like, I know you got your doula service as well, where it's like just finding ways where we can not only spread our education but even monetize that, right? Because I think it was a little bit taboo once upon a time for people to try to like charge for their gifts. And I know even myself, even to this day, that's still something that you battle with when it comes to that value and wanting to be helpful, but then also upholding that value. And so I love how things like Udemy, it helps to enable that, or even because I don't know, Udemy always got stuff on sale too, but it, like you said, it plants that seed though to show you what is possible with your content and to take it to that next level, make it immersive, get it out to other people, and start taking it up a notch. So I definitely agree. And then, are there any other tools that I guess you haven't mentioned? I know you're big into dance. Has there been any tools that have really helped with like the dance community? Especially, I know you're into tribal fusion, which is a more unique dance, also as well.
Yes, so I am a performer, and that just consists of simple, finding auditions, finding people in the community to perform for, or just simply, performing just for a cause. That's just some of the things that I do. And I have implemented my behind the scenes with my Patreon. So, with that being said, I use Patreon as I guess you could say, a bridge for real people that have been with me from the beginning of my journey. And I'm pretty soon I'm going to be posting like high school performances, college performances. This is the stuff that I feel that people want to see. And I'm trying to collect everything because I just relocated last year, um, and so I am pretty much collecting all of these things so that I could put them up and most likely put them on the blockchain, of course, and so that people can own these things. Like I will be hosting a event this Saturday talking about artists NFTs and dance NFTs, and pretty much you could go way back. You can go as far back as you want with creating this. And I'm trying to show people like, look, material things could possibly get destroyed and damaged. But when you think about technology, it doesn't go anywhere. And with that being said, why not take the extra step to protect yourself and
Mm-hmm.
your things by putting it up there? I'm like, yeah, this is also a protection as well.
Yeah.
So
I like how
this
you
is something.
said that. You know, that extra protection. Like,
Yeah,
okay, maybe don't put it up there and then burn the actual. Okay, like you can keep the physical, but just in
right.
case the real one does happen, you know, you do have that digital copy, because I mean it does help. I gotta go through my old Snapchat sometimes to find old pictures, like have to go through logins and old Instagrams, like, man, I know I had that one video somewhere and having to, like, you know, track it down.
Yes.
But I know I have that digital footprint though, right? Like it's long gone off my phone, and I definitely didn't have no physical copy. But because I put it on social media, I know I can always go and find it, right? So I think when we think about that large scale on the blockchain, anybody can go and find it. Again, just, you know, think about how vast that is, you know, good, bad, and different. It just, again, takes it up that next level, which is, you know, while we're even talking about all these tools, even Patreon, you know, again, one of those awesome tools that goes in that monetizing your gift bucket, right? Because that hasn't been around before. Like how would have artists have said, okay, pay me every single month, you know, $15, and then you can come. It would have been a headache for that creator to be preparing their stuff, tracking down billing, having to go through, you know, the back and forth with that. And now it's all automated, right? Because that's also, again, where we're moving into with this automation. It was funny at the Raw Talk, we were really talking about automation and, you know, the idea of a drone, and you kind of getting this drone that looks like you, that actually does a lot of the things that you would do, like your grocery shopping, or like, you know, or if you order something from Amazon Prime, and actually being your drone that goes to pick it up. So when we think about like what we do ourselves and how we can have automation assist with us, that's why I really am looking for those kind of tools, right? Because my whole life I've been the one that has to, you know, kind of put in the work, that elbow grease. You know, ain't nobody gonna do it for me. You know, if somebody give me idea,
Right.
cool, but I still got to be the one to do it, whether they there, not there. It be just me in that mud, you know. And so what I appreciate is then being able to, again, get automation. Like, okay, well, it's me and this robot, you know. Anything that's going to make it easier for me to do. And again, I think that's why we've even moved into this era of technology, because at that point it just comes down to efficiency, you know, especially when we look at a lot of the things that we've put into our lives. It's funny when people start going really far with the metaverse, you know, they kind of start telling you how it's almost not important, right? Because it's this digital version and there's this real life version. But when you really understand that future and where it's going, again, that's where you understand, okay, well, let me get these tools that are going to help me for my future. Let me go ahead and you know, invest in that time. Like I said, I've been a hard worker my whole life, and at this point it's like, okay, let's start working smarter. These are those tools that now empower that, so that instead of being in that same cycle of starting a new business and trying to figure it out, it's like, okay, we've been there, done that, we know how to start it, and now it's this automation that's going to help us take it to that next level with marketing and with exposure and with even understanding the algorithm, right? And sounds, and just, you know, understanding the technology again and using that to your advantage more than anything else. That's been what I've been grateful for, right? That's why I even started out with the metaverse and the internet, because that's where it starts. Even a cell phone, right? Or because that's how I even got a lot of things started, was just right there on my cell phone. And you know, and then gets even more to like a laptop. Right now there is such a need for me actually having this laptop and a cell phone, and you know, just having those two tools, what all you're able to conquer. And think about, you know, what you're able to accomplish on a cell phone. You can join spatial from a cell phone. You can make your own spatial space from a cell phone. And the great thing about it is that you can, again, be on that cell phone anywhere in the world, on that cell phone, connecting with others, earning money, monetizing whatever you have going on these different platforms, with this different software, with things like YouTube just to learn, like things like Udemy just to learn or educate, and you know, putting yourself out there and trying it, right? I remember when Crackle. I remember when Crackle was just like some random movie app that I have found online, like young me and my sister trying to watch free movies, coming up on Crackle and seeing, how that is like a Netflix, right? Not as popular, obviously, because Netflix kind of took that. But in the beginning, you're like, I don't know what this is, but you see the vision. Like now we're on streaming videos, and that's the normal. And so, it's about understanding that voice that God said, hey, this is what you want to be looking at. This is the direction it's heading in. Trust in that, and then kind of leaning into it from there. And so,
yes, I want to add
yes, please do.
as well. I need to mention that without joining a network, it would have been almost impossible to reach the levels that I've reached so far. And I'm just going to be real, because a network has the resources that basically a business owner or a brand owner needs, and vice versa. It's like, how can you have a Tyler Perry movie without having him a part of the BET network?
Mm-hmm.
You won't know about any of that content unless they're promoting. He's a part of something that's pushing him, and he's also pushing them, because their logo, wherever there's Tyler Perry, there's BET. Wherever there's BET, there's some type of Tyler Perry. And I'm using him as an example because he's, of course, a person that is quite inspirational. The way he's gotten to where he is, despite his character. Like, I don't judge people. I look at their character. I look at what they've done for their community. And as a community, Atlanta is just beautiful, 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 beautiful. And I see a lot of faces that look like me in the entertainment industry that he's put on. And this is what we're looking at. We're looking at who we're helping, and that's just like a domino effect. Like, you don't want to just limit yourself, because I'm just like, okay, I have these brands. Where do I fit in best? Not just anywhere. You don't want to just be out there just, flopping like a fish. You have to be professional. This is a professional space as well. That's why children are not allowed in here, because people are actually making money in here. And so, like, we understand this concept, and we're using it not just for entertainment purposes.
Right. No, I agree. And I like how Spatial kind of keeps this separate for kids. At first, I had a whole, like, kids center, and I have, like, this whole idea that I have with the kids and everything. But, there's a time and a place for that. Because also, in these metaverses and stuff like this, they're all about data, right? They're here, especially if you see now when you, like, go to your spaces, it says, like, oh, keep track of all the spaces that you visit. And it's like, you're keeping track, they're keeping track, everyone's keeping track, right? Just like they said, oh, you can see, who invites who. Like, I was on a space today when they were announcing the winner of a competition they had there, and they were saying how, they can see who invites who in and who's connecting, and just, what you're uploading and where you're uploading it from. And it's all about this data collection and this IP, right? And that's what's valuable in life, and that's what's becoming even more and more evident, as we continue further into this digital revolution. And I like how we, really emphasize those tools on being able to, garner that data as well, right? This is all of our intellectual data, and like you said, you have all of these things, and how can we package it and actually continue to build with it? And I think that's why a lot of the tools that we talked about, like the metaverse and Patreon and NFTs and blockchain, and being able to, take pictures and mint it. You can just speak. It just sounds awkward now that I'm sitting here quiet. So yeah, it sounds you need data. Even if we didn't have data, there would be data.
Oh, my peace and blessings. I was just staying because she basically pulled me out the crowd. But yeah, like, I think a lot of people will begin to, like, as this continues to grow, people will then begin to value IP and begin to realize how valuable their IP is. Like, all these companies, think about it. Facebook's only Facebook because they have so much people's data and their IP and so forth and so forth, Google, etc. So it's like now we're coming into a state. That's why they have the whole smart contracts, to where it's like you have to be able to secure your IP. You know, like a lot of people doing a lot of things, and they're not, one, securing their IP, nor are they a hub for other people's IP. When I say other people's IP, I mean like what makes a successful business in today's age is not how many sales you occur, but how much data you can collect. So the name of the game is data. And when people realize that's all people are in business for, is to collect data, then I think, we'll really see the metaverse come alive.
Yes, exactly. And it's funny because that's why we even kind of touched on that, being able to even like dox yourself in a way, and protect that data and be just conscious of what data you are and aren't, signing up for. I know a lot of people, especially once I got into the Web3 space, that are like, they refuse to go on Instagram because they refuse to accept the terms and conditions. And I'm just like, what the hell do the terms and conditions say that got these people refusing to go on there?
It's like us with TikTok.
But it's like, I understand it though, because that's how I feel with TikTok, right? Where it's like, I already know as soon as you
can get 1,000 views every post.
Right, but they're going to be running through your phone. It's open. It's running your phone, and just understanding that. And
you don't know who they're selling it to. That's
right.
And that's where I see the transformation occurring, because it's like people don't realize, like now everybody understands these algorithms, because they'd be like, man, I was just thinking about buying a taco, and now my cell phone showing me ads for tacos. So we've grasped the elementary level of it, but we haven't really got deep into it to realize, like, no, this is not by accident, but on purpose.
And so understanding that data is king, today's conversation is about what tools you're grateful for. So with understanding that, what kind of tools are you grateful for that you're able to capitalize on that?
With data, I'm old school. I still like books.
Okay, that's true.
Books, I think.
That's a good one. That's a good one, though, because we have been buying, like, anytime we think of a book, we let's get the hard copy.
Like everybody got the NFT fever, or, recession, people get the diamonds or want to buy gold and collect all these different things, silver and all that. And that's cool, but me personally, I guess taking the forewarning from the Book of Eli movie reference, I just realized, like, there are so many impactful books from generations prior, like so many impactful books, to where it's like we don't hear about them. We may hear, like, for instance, you may hear about, pick somebody, you may hear about Rockefeller or something, but then it's like, all right, you hear about Rockefeller, but it's like Rockefeller has an autobiography. Rockefeller has a book with 38 letters to his kids. Rockefeller has, so it's like, instead of listening like hearsay, like a court of law would say, of what other people's opinions is, it's like you actually pick up a book on a lot of these, or pretty much everything, and grasp your own opinion, or like a well-rounded opinion, I guess would be a better way to say it, instead of just taking like, oh, people's perspective from modern or of past time, but in modern day. Like, no, actually go back into the past with them and see what they were thinking, because evidently what they were thinking then mattered, because they then implemented what we are living in now. So it's like I always try to find that as like a driver, like, oh no, get these books, Vanderbilt, like anybody that was supposed to be some superior mogul of the last, I don't know, eternity, not even just century. I try to grab books of them, because I know the internet with editing and all that stuff is just not going to be the same probably 10 years from now. I see articles change that I read 2 years ago. You go read the article now, they can edit the article. So it's just, right. I like that book.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good tool to be grateful for, though, and we definitely have been stacking up extra every chance. So that was a good gem to add in there with the data and the books, and those are definitely some good tools. Because y'all know the saying, right? You want to hide something from somebody, hide it in a book.
And the richest man in the business world, not the banking and all that, but the business world or commerce world is who? It's Jeff Bezos. And his two things is the topic of what we just stated: data and books.
Right.
He took over the whole world. He got everything, like everything else people aspire to do. He didn't been able to amass and encompass and get inside through data and books.
That's it.
He could now be the biggest banker if he wanted to be. He could be the biggest doctor. He could sell us. He's selling us everything. Amazon Prime. He do whatever the heck he wants. Heck, even the I ain't gonna go there. I was about to go. I was gonna say that documentary, but I'm gonna just say that I ain't gonna say no names. But even that documentary that is being talked about, that's a Jeff Bezos
production. Yep. And if
and
you
ain't
ever,
nobody saying, nobody got the gumption to dare say something to him.
Yeah, because if you ever watch Amazon Prime shows and videos, they always got that new that's about to tell you about this futuristic, upload
I
and
suggest that to anybody.
or even peripheral or just all kind of different shows that are just gonna put it into perspective. And I know they say you got to be careful when you watch that, but I mean you
gotta watch that because it goes back to what we just said with the Book of Eli, where it's the predictive programming. Right. And that's what you got to realize. When you realize that none of this stuff you see is by coincidence, but it's by program. That's why everything's called a program. Whether you go to an event in person, or you turn on the TV, or you tap into the event. Here, right now, we in a program. This is a program. This is Women Metaverse. So it's like, and then it's running on a script to get onto the tech side of it, since they're still, tech-oriented. Whereas, like, for this app to work, what happens? It has a script. For any website to work, it has a script. For every TV show we see, everything has a script. So people have to, like, at some point realize that just because they might not be as calculated as they could be, doesn't mean the rest of the folks out here aren't as calculated.
Oh, yes. That was a good one right there, too.
My husband is over here trying to tap in, but he's about to take a bike ride. I was talking to him about the Book of Eli actually last night or the other night, and how he memorized the Bible, in which they basically get rid of. And it's like, that is the mission, is to memorize these books. These books are basically like the blueprint, and it's so deep. It goes deep.
Yeah. Hey guys, I was just getting ready. Me and the little one just came from a little short bike ride. She goes a little slow, but I'm gonna go out and get a quick one. But I heard the discussion. I said, "Wow." Don't pull on me, baby. And my wife said, "Yeah, we were just talking about this."
Yeah, the Book of Eli, that's a good one. Y'all definitely gotta watch it.
Hey, book's easier to tote with you than gold, sir. Yeah, that's how I look at it. I'll be like, go buy a bunch of gold and get caught somewhere with it.
You'd rather have a book than,
That's what, because actually, my son, I was just showing people, my son, he dropped some books off the other day, like a whole suitcase of books.
Amen.
About the start of Greek and everything about the history. So not only do he follows Christianity and other religion as well. But I was telling she was like, wow, he going real. He got the hard copies.
Yeah.
Like 50 pounds of books.
I'm telling you, sir. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I see why y'all had that conversation then in the Book of Eli. Like, yeah, we gotta get to it, and y'all got a collection, we got a collection. Y'all already know that's why we link up every time.
And it's generational, like you said. We're gonna memorize these books, but then that gives our grandkids and so on access to have these books that won't be around. We know that for a fact. Right. These books not gonna be around.
Right.
Right. So we can witness in our lifetime a rewrite or attempt to rewrite history or blot out certain parts of it.
Exactly, sir.
And we're seeing it live.
Once you realize that it's happening right before your eyes, you become a changed person instantly.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Think about the Ethiopians that still, I believe, they got the lost chapters of the Bible, right, and the Ark. And somewhere in Ethiopia, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe somewhere in Northern Africa, it's still there because they guard it. I watched a documentary on it. And it's like, to this day, they still got lost books of the Bible and the Ark they say Jesus was on. They like, it's guarded like you was trying to go, if you were trying to attempt to break into the White House. Like, they're not going.
Interesting.
And that's an artifact.
Just like they're top secret, not just secret or confidential, but there's top secret stuff at the Vatican. Should make you pause and say, what is, I mean, not only secret, but what is top secret?
Right.
Exactly, sir.
That makes you want to
Definitely
know for sure.
right. And why was the councils of Nicaea was required? Why were their books removed?
Exactly.
There's also records even in the Hebrew Bible, the Christians, about scriptures that were given to different people, but those scriptures are also counted as valuable. So there's a lot of the big thing that's unraveling quickly, especially in this information age, access to information.
Yes.
And as long as we can understand information, misinformation, over information, be able to decipher between people, okay, because the access to the information and data is there.
Yeah.
That's our goal, I say, sir. Like the information and data, like you work in IT, so you understand what these people. There's nothing man won't do for information,
Yeah, because just like you said, you say it's top secret. That makes me want to go see what it is. Like, okay, what's top secret about it? Well, I want to know the secret. I guess that's more like curiosity, but hey, curiosity killed the cat,
But then that's when you dig in. Like when he says that, then you put it in I get a wider picture, and it's like, all right. So during that time, they did kind of have the Masonic type of ideology, to where it was in a sense to where a lot of those things are like them pyramids. Like they don't have books we could buy from Amazon,
right.
But all those buildings, all those pictures you walk through, or portraits or murals you see, it be telling the story. It's just some people see it as an angel flying and a lady praying, but they not really looking at the art, seeing they wrote a book right here, or a movie. Better yet, it's just they didn't have a movie in the year 200.
Right. The history books at that. I mean, the whole history within those walls there, recorded for sure.
Mm.
And if a picture tells 1,000 words, you do the math.
Yeah. Yep, and it's just like because of what you both said, like how you said, one person can take one scripture and then get another scripture and
interpretation,
interpretation.
Gives you a chance to see the human in it, because we've all played the game telephone, and then the message gets messed up or whatever the case may be, or misspoken. So it's then that gives you a chance to see the human. So then you should see the forgiveness. So when people see different groups or whatever, and they dang, my interpretation of this group's personality or behavior, maybe I should actually learn about them, or instead of just going with what I've been taught to think or whatever the case. Because then when you finally get, and that's what everybody wants. Jewish people want that, black people want that, African people, everybody wants that, but then they don't usually, with the commandment, do unto your neighbor as you want done as to yourself, and it's people don't follow that commandment,
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
But it was great talking. Definitely popping in and catching y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to take advantage of this last 15 minutes of daylight here. We're about on the same time. It's getting dark, but
awesome.
Sure.
Well, yes.
Quick, 2 or 3 miles long.
Yeah, and we're just wrapping up Women in the Metaverse too. So Miss Shiva, feel free to enjoy the walk with them as well. To all of our viewers that have watched this week's episode of Women in the Metaverse, y'all know I always tell you men are allowed here too. We just make it a womanly space to welcome women.
Check it out. We had to
but I never kick out the men. If you watch the episode, usually I ask the men that pop in their ideas anyways, because we learned a lot from each other just now. Talked even more about the data and books and just so much that again we can all learn from each other, and that's what these spaces are all about. So make sure that you guys share in the comments what tools you are grateful for as well. Just like I told you guys in the beginning, the first floor is created just for you to come and listen as well, and invite your friend here, talk about what tools you're grateful for, let me know and I'll pop up as well. And you guys know we'll be back again next Monday having this conversation again, and next Monday we'll actually be talking about what concepts we're grateful for. There's DAOs and CC0